In the faint light of the attic, a man stooped his great frame and made his way to an old chest that sat near one end of the dusty room. Brushing aside a wisp of cobwebs, he opened the lid of the chest and began to carefully lift out one old photograph album after another. As his eyes adjusted to the dim light, he began to search longingly for the source that had drawn him here. Preparing for his son's college graduation party had sent him to the attic. Now he found himself entranced by each reminder of years gone by. He sorted through each album and the countless keepsakes, pictures, and memories that they held. He finally recalled the moments of which each relic was a reminder. He became lost in a sea of memories. Setting aside one of the dusty albums, he pulled from the chest what appeared to be a journal from his grown son's childhood. He could not recall ever having seen it before, or that his son had even kept a journal. Why did my wife always save the children's old junk, he wondered, chuckling and shaking his head. Opening the pages, he glanced over a short reading, and his lips curved into an unconscious smile. Even his eyes brightened as he read the words that spoke clear and sweet to his soul. It was the voice of the little boy who had grown up far too fast in this very house, and whose voice he could still hear echoing down the hall and through the passing years. In the utter silence of the attic, the words of a guileless 9-year-old worked their magic and carried the old man back to a time almost totally forgotten. Entry after entry stirred the father's emotions as he was swept away by the nostalgia of yesteryears. But it was accompanied by the painful memory that his son's simple recollections of those days were far different from his own. But how different? Reminded that he had kept a daily journal of his business activities over the years, he closed his son's journal and turned to leave, having forgotten the cherished photographs that originally triggered his search. He made his way to the den and opened a cabinet, reached in and pulled out an old business journal. Turning, he sat down at his desk and placed the two journals beside each other. His was leather-bound and neatly kept, while his son's was tattered, and the name Jimmy had been nearly scuffed from its surface. He ran a finger over the letters, as though he could restore what had been worn away with time and use. As he opened his own journal, his eyes fell upon an inscription that stood out, because it was so brief in comparison to other days. In his own neat handwriting were these words: "Wasted the whole day fishing with Jimmy. Didn't catch a thing." With a deep sigh and an anxious hand, he took Jimmy's journal and found the boy's entry for the same day, June 4. Large scrawling letters, pressed deeply into the paper, read, "Went fishing with my dad. Best day of my life."